Morning, students. Today we will take up the prose section of MA Previous Literature, where the first unit you have History and Development of English Prose, in which you are asked short questions like what is essay, what is novel, short story, biography, autobiography, or criticism. So I will briefly describe you about all these. The question comes under the category of types of prose. So what are the types of prose? As I have mentioned, types of prose can be the essay, the novel, the short story, the biography, autobiography, memoirs, and criticism. One by one we will discuss all these. And one thing you have to keep in mind, that you have to write the name of the writers and the works which they have written. In literature you always have to learn the name of the writers and their works. So essay, let's start with the essay. Now the definition of essay, you have to give one or two definitions. One famous definition is by Dr. Samuel Johnson, who says the essay is a loose sally of the mind, an irregular indigested piece, not a regular and orderly performance. Then we have another definition by Sainsbury, who says that essay is a work of prose art. Very small definition. Essay is a work of prose art. Then Hugh Walker, he gives a definition where he says there is no subject from the stars to the dust heap and from amoeba to man which may not be dealt with in an essay. I repeat this. There is no subject from the stars to the dust heap and from amoeba to man which may not be dealt with in an essay. Means the subject or the topic of an essay can be anything, right from the stars to the dust heap, from the amoeba to the man. In this way the essay can be written on any topic. Now we come to the beginning. The writers, the essayists who started writing essays. The names you have to remember. First, Cicero and Seneca, they were the Roman writers. Then we have Plutarch. Then we have Montaigne, who was a French writer of 16th century. Then we have Francis Bacon, all of you know. He wrote aphoristic essays. Okay, Francis Bacon's aphoristic essays. Then we have the character writers of 17th century like Hall, Overbury and Earle. They were the writers of the 17th century. We are moving century wise. 16th century I have explained, now 17th century, these three. Then we will come to, again 17th century, John Dryden. John Dryden, he was writing the critical essays. Okay, critical essays. The name you can say essay of dramatic poesy. Okay, then we have the periodical essays. Periodical essays means the essays which are written at definite interval of time or definite periods. For example, the one essay is coming like in January, the other one coming in June, at definite periods or intervals of time. Okay, and in the 18th century, and the names of the essayists are Daniel Defoe, Richard Steele, Joseph Addison. Then again we have the essays, the social essay, which discussed about the problems of the society, like the essayist you will name Jonathan Swift, Oliver Goldsmith. Okay. Then the pattern changed of the essay writing. It was the reviewers, those who reviewed, okay, the works of prose. They were called the reviewers, but it will come under the category of essays only. So the names you have to remember: Edinburgh Review and Quarterly Review. Edinburgh Review was edited by Francis Jeffrey and Quarterly Review was edited by William Gifford. The contributors were Southey, Scott, Hazlitt, Macaulay and Carroll, Thomas Carroll. Okay. Then we come to the next, which is the magazines. Then a trend came of contributing the essays in the magazines. So the magazines, the names of the magazines, okay, you have to remember Blackwood's Magazine, Fraser's Magazine and London Magazine. Clear? Now the names are also there. Blackwood's Magazine, you have to remember Christopher North. Fraser's Magazine, you have to remember Coleridge, Carroll. And London Magazine, Charles Lamb wrote the essays of Elia for London magazine. Clear? Then we come to the essayist of the Victorian period. Okay, the Victorian period. Now in the Victorian period, the names you can mention: Matthew Arnold, Walter Pater, clear, Leslie Stephen. These names you have to mention. After that, we come to the personal essay. Personal essay, Charles Lamb. He was a prince of personal essays. Clear? Other names you can mention: Charles Lamb, Leigh Hunt, Hazlitt, D. Quincy, and R.L. Stevenson. So in this way, we have discussed briefly about those essayists who were writing essays right from the 16th century. Clear? Like Cicero, Seneca, Plutarch, Montaigne, then Francis Bacon, then John Dryden, then Daniel Defoe, Richard Steele, Joseph Addison, Jonathan Swift, Oliver Goldsmith. Then the reviewers: Edinburgh Review, Quarterly Review, the 2 reviews. Then 3 magazines like Blackwood's Magazine, Fraser's Magazine, and London Magazine. Then we have the writers like essays like Matthew Arnold, Walter Pater, Leslie Stephen. Then the personal essays like Charles Lamb, Leigh Hunt, Hazlitt, D. Quincy, and R.L. Stevenson. Okay, in this way you have to mention the name of the essayist. It's up to you how many names you can remember and mention in your answer, but it's necessary to mention the names of the essayist. Clear? So try to learn it and don't get confused. Thank you and have a nice day.